Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Writer's Bloc Party with Dom Berry and our participants. My name is Becky, and we've also got some lovely WOW staff members here today who'll be helping us. We've got Jenny on tech, and we've got Lauren, who is our moderator. So if you've got any questions throughout the event or you need some help, just give them a shout. Thank you so much to everybody who's in the Zoom room with us, to everybody who's watching online, and of course to all of our incredible performers today. We're really excited to hear your work. For those of you who don't know, although if you don't know by now, where have you been? Our writer in residence this month has been the absolutely marvellous Dominic Berry. And Dom has just been the most incredible writer in residence, so supportive. We've had the most lovely feedback from our participants. This particular writer's block has been really special because not only has it been for adults, but it's also been for young people as well. And we do actually have one very special young person performing today. So this event is going to be, for those of you who haven't been to a block party before, a sharing of some of Dom's work that he's been inspired to write over this process, as well as some of our participants who've come to either the workshops or the one-to-ones or the block socials as part of this residency, who are going to be performing some of their work that they have written. So thank you all so much for being here. Just as a quick little bit of housekeeping, if you'd like to watch this event in speaker view, that is probably the best way to do it, because that'll mean that every time our participant reads, you'll get to see their face on the big screen, and it'll be very lovely and theatrical. So it's always a good way to go. If you could just make sure as well that if you're not already muted, which you should be, just make sure that you're conscientious and you put yourself on mute so that we're not getting feedback or noise over any of the performances. And of course, again, as I said earlier, if you've got any questions, you can just pop that to us in the chat and we'll help you out. The chat box is open. So if you imagine that we're live audience, you can use the chat box as we go along, and you can shout out your praise and holler at the performers that you like, and pick out little favorite bits throughout. That's more than welcome. So please feel free to use the chat box throughout. It's just in the bottom bar at the bottom. So without further ado, I'm very, very pleased to introduce our writer in residence, Dominic Berry.
Hey! How lovely, how lovely, how lovely. 3 words to hopefully move forwards from this project. Writing is rewriting. Writing is rewriting. My own work tends to be a load of living documents that I play around with for years and years and years and years. So I'm going to share one poem, which is something I have been snipping and remolding like a word sculpture for many years. And I've been especially looking at the performance of this piece. It's about a girl called Scarlet, and Scarlet is having a battle against a witch who can shoot fire from her fingertips. Here is my poem. It goes exactly like this. Emergency. Will Scarlet win this fight? She turns to see the witch's spell. A light. This burning beast's big magic hands ignite and fervently attack with all their might. There is fire in the air. This is Scarlet's worst nightmare, for there is fire everywhere. But Scarlet's speed is beyond compare. There's urgency as Scarlet's feet take flight, and perfectly she kicks like dynamite. A kick like fire in the air, a kick like fire. Witch, beware. A kick like fire in the witch's chest. Scarlet has proved she is best. With kicks like fire, kicks like fire, kicks like what? Like fire! Boom! Cheers for listening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Woo-hoo. Oh, it's lovely sharing poems. And what a lovely residency it's been, working with all different folks. I'm going to introduce you to some of the fine artists who I've had the great joy of working with over the last 3 weeks. And as I say, writing is rewriting. I've been impressed with people's commitment to sharpening, honing their craft. So in a moment, I'm going to introduce Arthur. Arthur, do you want to pop your microphone on for me, please? Let's make sure we are loud and clear. Nice. Yeah. All right. Let's take it away. Over to Arthur. Yes. Woo.
Morning, everybody. Yeah, I've got something to contribute. So do I just go for it, or do I have to be put in the queue? Go for it. This is something that you done the other day. You were writing your poem about your event on the swing, and we were asked to do things we remembered that might have changed. And I started off with Candy Floss, but I ended up with Gobstopper. So this is Love Me, Love My Gobstopper. Fill your face for free, or is that just me? Careful you get your jaws locked tight. It's not as if you can have a bite. I'm like the elephant man, but I've no trunk. Sucking, I look drunk. Going blue, gas for air, spit it out. Look at that mess, hear your mother shout. P.S. I've never won. Gobstoppers 26, Arthur 0. Thank you.
Yes, Arthur, yes. Excellent pacing there, Arthur. I really enjoyed the delivery of that, you know, tip top. All right, well done, Arthur. Well done, Arthur. Do we have Catherine? Let me scroll through my screens. Yes, we do. Yes, awesome. Catherine, yep, your mic is on. Tip top. Take it away, please. Catherine.
Thank you very much. I'm going to read something called The Devil is in the Details. Always be careful of words that begin with D, he says. They are dirty. The devil uses them to deceive. Darwin, his first disciple, dinosaur bones buried in false digs. Donuts make you undesirable to your man. These things will lead you directly to damnation. Drinking leads to drugs, lead to dancing, leads to desire. Daughters who defy their parents, dominant women who demand equality, Democrats, Dan Brown, the Dalai Lama, degenerates, depraved debauchers. They have succumbed to his many disguises and deceptions, are walking down the stairs to hell. I must remain vigilant. I must remain pure. That's what Daddy says.
Big round of applause. Yes, Catherine. Thank you so much for sharing. Excellent. So in a moment, I'm going to hand over to Ryden. Ryden will be our next speaker. Now, from Arthur, we had some rhyming. From Catherine, we had a magnificent alliteration. And Ryden has got some prose, I believe, that Ryden is going to share with us today. So let me find Ryden on my screen. Super excited. Awesome. Ryden, whenever you are ready, my friend, please take your time, share us your art, please.
Okay. I've got two devices, so I'm reading from a different device, so if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm just reading the thing. Introduction. Well, I think it's finally time I write this book. I've put it off for far too long, and it really does need to be told properly, doesn't it? If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about and have absolutely no idea who I am, well, don't worry. Let me introduce myself. I am Mathia. I'm quite popular these days. You might be wondering why. You see, I've had an unbelievably long adventure, and my story has become quite popular. But the problem is, due to the story being told orally, people always get it wrong, which is quite irritating and has gotten me into some very awkward situations, which I will not tell you about, for I do not wish to bore you. So, now, before I tell you my adventure, I must tell you just a few things. There are a few people out there that are not quite connected to the rest of the world, so I may need to do some explaining. Willamore, our wonderful world, has many countries, and there are two that play a big role in the story. The first one is Miran, and the second one is Asgore. So remember those two. If you look at any map of Willamore, you will see both of these places. And also, I must mention that if you really do not know about either Miran or Asgore, please do some research before you read this book. Now, enough of me wasting your time. Are you sitting in your comfiest chair? Do you have a nice warm cup of tea? You do? Good. Now let our adventure begin.
Wow, 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 wow. So special. I've not heard Ryden speak that aloud before. I've just read the words, and I've also had the great honor of reading a little bit further than that in what I am very confident is going to be a very exciting and I said to Ryden, a relatable story, even though it's in a fantastical setting. The characters are so believable. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Well done, Ryden. Please keep writing because you're working very hard. You're working very wisely and you've got good things to say. As we all have. As we all have. Nice one. Okay, we've got two more people reciting. Now, it's going to give me great pleasure to introduce Dara. Are you ready, Dara? Dara has got a magnificent piece of poetry for us. I would love to hear, well, I already know, so I'm setting Dara up because I already know the answer, but please, Dara, tell us, who is your poem about?
Okay, so this is about a musical crab, and he's really good at music. He's called Virtuoso. So Virtuoso, the musical crab. The musical crab did not need a cello or bellows full of air, for his claws could vibrate at a rate that made sea shanties sound sweet, neat, or stormy, and rained a melody there. The musical crab did not need to grab an oboe or an underwater flute, his playing beyond astute, tuned by the sea, tuned by he, moving with the tide, side to side, he plays vibrato, legato, anything he utter. He wants to play of himself, and his sea entirely.
Boom, 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 boom. Yes, fantastic. Super boom, super boom. So good. Dara and I had quite a interesting conversation yesterday about pacing and the speed. You know, sometimes we choose to speak very quickly in poetry, but there was an amazing musicality to that, which that's the slowest I've heard you read it, and it's hugely benefited. We really got to hear the internal rhymes, the musical rhythm, and the beauty of the imagination in that piece. I love it. I love it so much. All right, we've only got one more person sharing with us today, and that person is going to be Amy. It's been a great pleasure working with Amy and working with everybody in this magnificent residency. So, Amy, whenever you are ready, please, I'm super keen to hear your work. Boom.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. Lovely listening to everyone. I'm reading from Athlone, Ireland, and a poem that I'm reading is called Redolence of the Orator, or the Sense of the Orator. He inhabits the air with energy and sensuality. Words vibrate. A great storyteller, His voice ignites like the scent of a storm. Some listen, their mouth gape wide, indelicately open. I wonder what it is like to ravish his intelligence, to violate his invulnerability. Watching him, I have no idea if this is madness. His presence, a recorded impression of words pounding on my poetic memory. I don't know if he has a sweetheart. To us, would be pointless. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Amy, I loved that. What magnificent, mighty words. Brilliant. And I want to say a huge well done to everyone for one specific aspect that all of you, in my opinion, improved upon during the time we've known. All of you shared work at a fantastic pace today. Really excellent. Often when we're a bit nervous or something's a bit new, we can hurry through things, and that's different to choosing to have work that's rapid fire. We might choose to do that as a stylistic choice, but often slower is better, and everyone performed the best I have seen you perform today, and that was a real joy to see that development. So I've really enjoyed this morning. Aren't we lucky? You know, if you don't mind me sharing my opinion, I feel lucky to have this space to listen to art, you know, when there might be stuff going on elsewhere in the world that troubles us, to have a space where creative minds can come together and share what they've made. What a beautiful thing to make something, and share. I love it. Can we give Becky and Jenny and everyone writing on the wall a huge round of applause? Writing on the wall! Yay! Thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Dom. Thank you. And thank you so much to everybody who's just performed then. We do have a little bit left of the Bloc Party, so not to worry. We're going to have a bit of a chat now about the process and everything. But I just wanted to say, oh my goodness, it was so wonderful hearing all of your work. I loved, Amy, in that last one, how you really used language to like twist in between each other, and you had all of these like oxymoronic phrases that were so beautiful and interesting. And the musical crab, Dara, is absolutely inspired. I saw a comment in the group that was somebody said, oh, this is definitely in the classroom. This is definitely great for the classroom. And also, oh my goodness, Ryden, everybody I could say, just so many words about so much beautiful work, but Ryden in particular, I know how difficult it is as a young person to get up in front of a group of adults and children and whoever else is here to just belt out something like that. And it was absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to hear the rest of it. I think Arthur in the comments said it was a cliffhanger, so that's absolutely perfect. Yeah. So yeah, just before we end today's Bloc Party then, Dom, just a last couple of questions for you. Do you have any particular highlights of the residency that you would like to share with our participants?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And it's a consistent highlight. It's a consistent highlight that every single person, without exception, has been so generous with their time, their attentive listening, their trust in really being vulnerable. When you have created something, it is so nerve-wracking it's like you're holding a little like wounded bird, and you're like, can you help me make this fly? And when we get together and to have that trust with each other, it could be a challenging thing to do, to let yourself be that vulnerable. And everybody has And that's what makes it so special, I think. So, but if I had to be more specific, I'd say this has been the highlight, this moment, because of the development I've seen everyone taking on really thinking, not just from a subjective artistic view, but some of the building blocks, some of the kind of things that we can more tangibly qualify, like, well, work will be better if it is clearer to hear, things like that. And everyone has like really thought about how they could present their work in technically the strongest manner. And I'm very, very proud to be part of this and thrilled with everyone's work.
Oh, thank you so much, Dom. And thank you for being such a wonderful writer in residency. It's just been such a joy to have so much energy, my word, and life and buzz. And it's clearly been infectious because those performances were so enigmatic and wonderful as well. So thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, can we all have one last big round of applause for Dom as our writer in residence? Thank you so much. And just before we go today, I just wanted to share with you a couple of little things coming up with the next Writer's Block. So our next writer on the block is going to be the fantastic Toria Garbutt, who is a poet and spoken word performer. She's also I've just seen a comment in the chat then saying, Dom is the cure for COVID.
I wish.
Definitely contributed to the well-being post-pandemic, so thank you so much. So we are going to have Toria on the block next, and she's going to be doing workshops specifically around poetry and writing poetry. And also we've got enterprise hubs, all of the usual block socials, and again we'll have another block party. So we'd love to see you again in our September writer's block. Thank you so much once again. Thank you to Jenny and Lauren. Thank you to Dom. Thank you to all of our participants who've performed today. What an exceptional performance. Well done. Thank you and take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.